Hey sightseers, Sightseeing Sally here. I'm in Holbrook, Arizona, which if you didn't know happens to be on Route 66. And I'm out walking around checking out the old relics of this historic town. Okay, I said town, I meant city, because technically Holbrook, even with a population of 5,000, is a city. Weird, I know, right? Anyways, I'm standing outside what used to be the Planesmen, which was a coffee shop, dining room, cocktails, I'm assuming a type of supper club. Correction, restaurant. And then next door is the remains of an old motel situated along old Route 66. Holbrook, like a lot of Route 66 towns, has been bypassed by the interstate, resulting in a loss of tourists, causing a lot of the motels and other businesses to shut down. Although this building now says Johnson Tires and Towing, I believe it used to be an old restaurant. I just can't put my finger on what it was. If anybody knows, leave it in the comment section below. Across the street from this old restaurant is an old filling station. Oh look, this bad bus is for sale. I've been wanting an old VW bus. If anybody wants to get me one for my birthday. In addition to the low-riding VW bus over there, he's got the frame of an old Corvette, and I think that's part of an old VW as well. Up there you can see the sign for the Globetrotter Lodge, sun-faded and worn in the desert sun. As you tour through Holbrook, you'll likely see tons of this. Petrified wood. Well, that was a long one. At least we know the trains haven't bypassed Holbrook. Anyways, batteries, 1995 and up with exchange. In addition to being a town on Route 66, Holbrook was actually an old Western town, one that was considered lawless and dangerous for women. That building there reminds me of an old-timey saloon. Maybe it was one of the original buildings, who knows? Of course, we can't forget the infamous Wigwam Motel, where you can sleep in a wigwam. It's one of the few places on Route 66 here in Holbrook that's still open, and it's actually on the Register of Historic Places. From back in the day when Route 66 was a popular thoroughfare through Holbrook. You can see that the current owners have included old historic vehicles to add to the atmosphere, along with chunks of petrified wood. Over there, if you look, you can see a mural painted along that wall depicting Route 66 and advertising for the Butterfield Stage Company Steakhouse. It's got a stagecoach on top of the roof, and its entrance is built to look like an old stagecoach. And I imagine at one time there was even a waterfall that flowed here. All right, I'm going to take you up to this other old building past the Magnuson Hotel, which is also closed down here on Route 66, to show you this old relic. The vacancy sign at the Magnuson Hotel, you can see that some of the neon tubes are still intact. I'm guessing it probably wouldn't take much for that old neon sign to be refurbished. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to show you. That was just a little aside. This is actually the old relic I want to show you. This old service station here. It's even built like the one that used to stand in my hometown, with the curved front. Yeah, it definitely reminds me of something I've seen in my childhood. The one that was in my hometown, they actually refurbished it and turned it into a restaurant. But with COVID, I have no idea if it's still even in business or not. This old motel sign advertises a big TV at 39-inch to 40-inch, direct dial phones in rooms, and cable TV. Do people even remember when a big TV was only 40 inches? Looks like that old sign has seen better days. Wigwam Motel isn't the only motel on Route 66 here in Holbrook that's still in operation. There's Brad's Desert Inn that welcomes adventurers. Now that's a blast from the past, an old Dodge Sportsman. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Holbrook, oh look, old VW. Sorry, didn't mean to get distracted, but every time I see an old VW bus, I'm like, I want one. Anyways, as I was saying, Holbrook has some interesting history related to the Old West, which is where we're headed to next. See the name up there? It says Bucket of Blood Street. And actually on this street stood an old tavern, saloon, bar, whatever you want to call it, that was named the Bucket of Blood Saloon. Now, while it's no longer standing here, this particular street has some interesting history to tell. Back in 1886, there was a saloon here called Terrell's Cottage Saloon, and it was at that saloon that this infamous gunfight took place, which at the end of it, there was so much blood on the floor in the saloon that they renamed it the Bucket of Blood Saloon. Now, the original saloon is no longer standing here, but as a way to commemorate that historic event, they renamed this street the Bucket of Blood Street. Wave to Marty. Hi, Marty. Marty's holding down the fort with the truck and the dogs because we're actually just passing through Holbrook. We're not staying here. Getting back to the story of Holbrook, its original roots were really violent, with a lot of gangs and outlaws coming here and starting gunfights, which is how that infamous gunfight, resulting in the name of that saloon being called Bucket of Blood, happened, which here's a placard talking about it. If you enjoyed the vid, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. They are free. Plus, it lets YouTube know you enjoyed the vid. And the more that YouTube knows that you enjoyed my videos, the more my videos get put out there. Also, I love hearing from you. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Make it back over these train tracks before another train comes through. They're pretty regular through here. Hey, baby, going my way? Until next time, this is Sightseeing Sally. Special thanks goes out to all our fellow sightseers here on Patreon and PayPal. Without you, these videos wouldn't be possible.